I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magob, it's time for the only news that matters. And Ace Frehley looked back at his career with Kiss and recalled that his infamous Shock Me moment wasn't the only time he suffered an injury on stage. The guitarist wrote the 1977 single after being electrocuted during a show when he made contact with the uninsulated metal rail on the stairway spot. In a recent interview with Music Radar, Ace Frehley said, "I should have been dead that night. The fact that I got electrocuted and didn't fall forward was a godsend. There must have been angels pushing me back. I was standing on top of 4 Marshall cabinets on a staircase and I had a heavy Les Paul around my neck. If I fell forward, I would have broken my fucking neck. But I fell back and the road crew dragged me back off the staircase. I had no feelings in my hand for 5 to 10 minutes. I went on to finish the show. It was crazy shit, man, but I did get Shock Me out of it, so I guess it wasn't all for nothing." Frehley remembered that his famous rocket launching guitar also had a second effect built in. He said, "I burned my leg really bad once. A smoke bomb ignited too early inside the cavity of the guitar and it melted the asbestos, which our fucking costumes were made out of, to my thigh." He also admitted that he fired one of the rockets at Gene Simmons and it almost fucking hit him. It flew right by his head. I would have burned him pretty bad. The guitarist also owned up to falling on his platform boots regularly, which led to one of the trademark stage antics and a permanent injury. "I used to fall a lot in those boots," he said. "A lot of times, Paul Stanley of Kiss would cover for me by walking over to me like it was part of the show. He'd make it look like a choreographed move or something. If nobody realized I'd fallen, I'd play on my knees and get back up. It became just part of the show. I screwed up my knee doing that. I ended up chipping a bone in my knee and the doctor said, 'Listen, you gotta stop doing that or you'll end up in a wheelchair.' We ended up putting a pad under the carpet where I fell. And if you look at the old videos, you can see that I'd go down one knee at a time." So there you go. Ace Frehley falls on stage, does clumsy moves on stage, tried to shoot Gene with his rocket guitar, and got electrocuted in Lakeland, Florida, though I have heard an interview where Ace Frehley says it was Hollywood, Florida, which means would be the Hollywood Sportatorium, the greatest venue I've ever been to. But he's got the locations, wrong. And yeah, he wrote a song about it, Shock Me, where first time he laid down vocals on a record where he had to lay down with the lights turned off and everything for him to do it. I don't know why he would have to lay down with the lights out, but then there you are. Ace is a whack job, but I love Ace, with all his quirks. But one thing I don't understand about Ace is how he said in interviews that he was saving his songs and not really contributing much to Kiss albums because he was saving it for his solo album. Now, if that's true, why didn't he save Shock Me for his solo album? Seriously. That's like one of his best songs. In my opinion, Let me think about that. Yeah, it's right behind Rocket Ride, which is also not on the solo album. I think Ace's two best songs are Rocket Ride and Shock Me. I mean, up to that point, because then you got, Snowblind and a bunch of cool shit afterward. But I think the two best Ace Frehley songs, now Ace Frehley songs he's sung, because I like Parasite more. I like, no, that's about it. I don't like Strange Ways more. I love Strange Ways. But, yeah, Parasite, Shock Me, Rocket Ride, and Parasite are the Mount Rushmore songs of Ace Frehley. Well, I mean, my Mount Rushmore songs, and yeah, Ace Frehley is lucky he didn't die, but think about it. It couldn't have been that much. I'm sorry. It was enough to knock his ass down, and like he said, his hands weren't working for 5 to 10 minutes. But man, usually, somebody gets shocked like that, they're dead. So it was just enough for him to go, whoa, and then write his second best song, But yeah, Ace Frehley, there was a story too where Gene Simmons told, and I believe this. I believe Gene Simmons on this. Gene Simmons saw Ace Frehley come to practice or, whatever with a guitar strap that had a lightning bolt on it. And Gene said to Ace, you know what? You should copyright that. You'll make a lot of money. And Ace didn't copyright it. Then everybody started getting straps like that. They started manufacturing it. And Gene told Ace, see what I told you? You should have copyrighted it. And Ace said to Gene, don't worry about it. I'll think of something else. Has he? No, he hasn't. That's why he's constantly touring to pay for his debt that he owes the government. And he loves to gamble. And he's lost millions more than once due to gambling, So, yeah. And Ace Frehley's now, he's touring and he's playing down here. And I know he's doing a lot of casinos before he comes down here. And down here, he's playing a casino as well. And I know somebody that did the Ace Frehley meet and greet. And I've heard, I did one. It wasn't that bad. I heard other people say nice things about it. And this guy said a nice thing about it. Where other people also say it's horrible. Ace Frehley doesn't even look at you. He just looks down, signs your shit, takes a picture, and you're gone. And I guess he did that with me a little bit, but I did say to him, I said, hey, so I made a video for 2000, man, and you put it up on your Twitter, but I'm sure you don't have nothing to do with your Twitter. And they said, by the way, I said this loud so he can hear me because Ace is kind of deaf. And they said, I never seen that video. And then his manager, I forget his name, with an O, he said, oh, you're the guy that made that video? And he told Ace, Ace, I showed you that video, and he's like, oh, yeah, I saw it, good job. Hey, he had a little interaction with me. So I had him sign my vintage Ace Frehley Kiss poster, and what else? I know I had him sign a couple other things, solo album and so on. And it was pleasant, but yeah, it was in and out. But the one guy I talked to recently, he said he was the very last guy on the meet and greet, right? And when he walks in, Ace signs and stuff, takes a picture, and then Ace says to his manager, all right, let's go, cutting into my gambling time. That's what this dude said. He didn't say he was a dick to him. I think he was nice to him, and then he said that when the guy was leaving the room. All right, cutting into my gambling time. I believe this dude said that. I'm not speculating shit. Why would this guy say that? They're in a casino, and Ace is known to love to gamble. you know, and he's lost millions doing it. And here he is with doing the meet and greet, but he's like, hey, and where am I going with this? Oh, okay, this is where I'm going with this. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect either. We all have our flaws. All right? So, there you go. Ace got his flaw as well. Nobody's perfect. Anybody that, you know. Yeah. All right, I'm not a gambler. All right? I'm not a gambler, but I have other flaws I don't feel like talking about now. Let's just say I'm not perfect, and I'm not talking bad about Ace because he's got a gambling problem. Gambling problems, I gotta say, are horrible. I'm not mentioning Ace, but I have to deal with a serious gambler. I have to deal with one, and it's a sickness. Trust me. Gambling's ugly. It's no different than smoking crack or doing whatever, man. I mean, it's bad. I'm talking every month, roughly $2,000 to $3,000 lost in gambling. But they keep getting more money, and that's a whole other story. How they get the money, but they got to wait till the end of the month. To the beginning of the month to get the money, only to blow it all in the casino. This is the way the casino gets you too. You go, and sometimes you win. You win 3, 4, 5 times, and you're like, man, I'm on a lucky streak. And all that shit you win from the casino, stick around. Don't leave, and they'll get it right back plus some. How do you think like these casinos? The Hollywood Hard Rock here built a goddamn hotel that looks like a guitar and it lights up. How do you think they got that money? You know? It's some serious shit, man. So hopefully Ace can, deal with that problem and stop it and pay back the government so he can tour the world. Because Ace Frehley can't leave the States because he owes money to the IRS. According to Ace Frehley. Anyway, that's my only news that matters for Kiss Wednesday. I always have one. Even Kiss being gone, I keep coming up with these stories, and I keep saying stuff like, how long can I keep going? I'm going to run out of shit, you know? And if I do, a lot of people are going to be upset. The Kiss Army will be upset. And the fans of Paul Stanley. So I gotta keep coming up with stuff, and I saw this little article. Ace gets shocked and other stuff. I'm like, well, whatever. There ain't nothing else going on with Kiss. Might as well talk about this and talk about the evils of gambling. Hey, and anyway, that's it for the only news that matters. Thank you all for watching, and leave your comments below of Ace, gambling, what have you. I would appreciate that. And what are your favorite Ace songs? Is it not Shock Me and Rock and Ride? If they're not, let me know which one they are. According to your world, not mine, all right, buddy? Anyway, you all rule. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and ring that little notification bell and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.